Okay, today I want to read a little bit of Rose McGowan book Brave. We know this is Rose McGowan, the big figure behind Me Too movement, and also ex-girlfriend, ex-fiancé of Marilyn Manson. They were together for a few years, all over the place. They made a video together for the song Coma White. She's in the video. He dedicated these two were a thing. Okay, I know that she is behind a movement that I have a few problems with, but not with her. Really, not what she's about. The book is great. I'm not trying to sell it. The book is great, and it's not for the faint of heart. She details her rape in the hands of the monster, Harvey Weinstein, which that is not an example of somebody who didn't do nothing like Johnny and Manson. This guy, it's been proven he did it. He admitted he did it. Plenty of proof, and that's somebody who actually did something horrible and got persecuted for it. So I'm not mixing that case with Johnny and with Manson, to be clear. And there's a few things about her that you can question. Is she might, sound bitter about a certain things, but what happens to her when she was about 20 with Harvey Weinstein was so awful. I was reading this last night, and I keep trying to skip that part. I was going only to the Manson part and to her growing up, because she grew up in a cult, which I think is pretty interesting. So I was going from her childhood to Manson, and I was trying to skip the Harvey Weinstein rape part, but I finally read it, and it made me sick, and it really made me feel really bad about her and anybody who ever encountered that guy. That disclaimer, yes, that dude is guilty. Okay, so in this book, there's a chapter that is called Circus Life, because it's pretty much it was what it was in the end of the 90s. Before MTV died and everything was like super out there, and Manson just released Mechanical Animals, and he was so big. Not like he's not big now, but huge. She was huge and he was huge. So they got together, right? So she dedicated a whole chapter to that point of her life, and of course he's in it. So they met. It was kind of cute. They sent people back and forth. Do you have a crush? My friend has a crush on you. And she thought that he was really ugly. And then she thought that he was really cool to show himself as very ugly. I just think it's cool. So they were like meant for each other, blah, 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 right? See, this is the part. Circus Life. Okay. We had so much fun. We truly did. Still, I was playing with night terrors. This is about her rape from Harvey Weinstein, pig, and post-traumatic stress disorder. This is a person who really has it, right? Not like some other people. The first year we were together, Manson patched me back together. He patched her back together. This is a big thing to say about somebody. It's pretty sweet. After the assault, I didn't tell him what happened for the first few months, but finally he asked a girlfriend of mine what's wrong with Rose. I was waking up screaming in the middle of the night, soaking wet. My friend told him the truth. And Manson was so sweet with me, finally some kindness. So she's referring to him as this thing that finally, this person that finally gave her a sense of safety and kindness. Okay? He was very misunderstood. My gosh. Even though the media had dealt with controversial figures like Alice Cooper, Ozzy Osbourne, rational people knew it was all about art. With Manson, they really bought it. They really thought he spent his nights skinning puppy dogs alive and boiling them on acid while saying "Hail Satan." So she's admitted right here that they were exaggerating about him and that he's not this skinny puppies and Hail Satan type of person. But the media was trying to say that he was. And she's saying in the book how annoying that was, and that she's not for that. In reality, the exact opposite is what's going on. The truth is, But at the time when he wasn't creating, electrifying good music, Manson was painting watercolors with my Boston Terrier dogs while I was ordering glassware from Martha Stewart's online store. That's sweet. So they were very domesticated. Pretty much when they were not creating movies, when she wasn't making movies and he wasn't making music, they were domesticated. They were walking her dogs, they were painting. That's what I'm getting from it. This is what everybody got from it, from her reading her book. We basically hid out from the world at home, totally domesticated, when we were not on the road having madscapes. I was happy because I could forget about what happened to me, at least during the day, and I felt safe. Nevertheless, people thought it was bizarre. I'm just skipping on that. Because then she ran with him to the mechanical animals tour, so she was with him like really just close by. It seems like this thing, like Evan Roger Wood was trying to imitate what Rose did. You know, like Rose jumped in the tour bus with him and had a really good time. I'm not going to talk about what Rose did now and what Rose thinks of him now, because that is not really, I think she's been told what to do, and that's disturbing. But when she made this book, and when I bought this book in 2020, this is what I read, and this is how I read it, and this is how she intended to be on her book. This person is so controversial. You will think she could milk it. If she got like an abuse story from Manson, she could have put it in the book and milk it. Seriously, because she likes controversy. She is the biggest behind the Me Too movement. If it wasn't for her, probably Weinstein wouldn't ever be accused of anything. So I respect her. I like her as an actress. I respect her. She is a bit she's going into a little bit on the mental the victim mentality that sometimes happens with this type of people, but I understand what she's going through. I don't understand what happens to her, because it never happened to me, and it's awful. If you have the chance to read her book, buckle up on that part, because I never read something so detailed before, and it runs complete truth. This woman is not about bullshit. So what she said now about him a couple months ago, I'm not going to go into that. I'm saying what she wrote, she could have wrote horrible things about him and put him on the same light that she was putting all the other guys, but she made an exception, and she said that he was making her feel safe. He patched her back together like a broken doll. How cool is that? It's not cool that she was a broken doll, but how cool is to say he patched me back together? The whole thing, she doesn't even talk about drugs. Even if she did, I would not mind, because it's part of their life. But she doesn't talk about drugs. She talks about the lifestyle. It was gonna burn her up because the fans were calling her a whore, which I believe, because Manson fans, especially back then, they didn't like to see him with a woman. They will be like, he's this person who cannot get engaged, cannot get married. Now they're more relaxed about it. We're more relaxed about it. But back then, she was getting so much hate. She was getting hate from Hollywood from being with him, because he's a weirdo. And he was getting hate from the music people from being with an actress. Such a mess, right? So they were trying the best they could, and this is what I'm getting from it. This is somebody, Manson, I think, but this is somebody who was kind to me, who take care of me. Manson always saw to my needs and paid great attention to details. So we fell in love, period. When I ran off with the Manson circus, which she called the tour bus circus, which, yeah, pretty much, I didn't really work for about 3.5 years. We had to worry about death threats and bomb threats. See, they're already getting threats. He was already getting threats from Columbine. So, and even threats for just being with an actress, which is completely ridiculous. So he's been on the heat for, decades. I mean, like, it's crazy. But at least I didn't have to worry about where my next meal was going to come from, because I felt safe and I didn't have to act. Because the thing is, she was so traumatized with the acting world that she didn't know she was going to go back to acting. And Manson was providing for her, which I think is great. It was a blast. We were made in love. It goes to bad things that they say about her. I'm not going to go on that. Because she wasn't a groupie. She wasn't the most gorgeous Hollywood actress ever. She wasn't a musician. It's not like Courtney Love or Manson together. No, it was Manson with this actress, the from kind of like TC fancy teenager movies and stuff, and the actress from the movie Scream, which I think is great. But they gave him shit for being with her. It's like the guy cannot do, bro. Like he can't. He can't win. Like seriously, like he can't. So more death threats, bomb threats. She lived through all that with him. Okay. Because they're scared of their own shadows, she said. The public is scared of anything different and unique, like Manson. Manson terrified the public. When I see how these producers react when they saw Manson, I think to myself, you are in the wrong business if you think this is not entertainment. Right? Because he's an entertainer. And she's like kind of pretty much saying why the people were making a big deal about him being him. And it's kind of what's going on right now. It's what's going on right now. It's all about his persona and how he's a space goat, perfect, easy target for all this crap. Okay. People will say to her, "What are you going out with that freak?" She will defend him all the time. At least in the book, she is. I don't know. In interviews back in the day, she was on Howard Stern once, and she said that she didn't like the lifestyle, and it was a bit of a cheating problem. She did not say that he was abusive or he was a monster. And the lifestyle, we know what she's referring to. I mean, just again, it's illegal to do drugs in your own house and your own tour bus. It's not good for your health, but it's not illegal, right? Which is what I said before on my other videos. Even if Hollywood was scared of Manson, he obviously deeply affected many people in the right way. One time I remember standing on the side of the stage. This sounds like Amy Roger Wood was trying to imitate, right? Looking out over 300,000 people. This human wave of an audience. While Manson sang a song called Coma White, which is one of my favorite songs ever, which was a song about my life and my story. He goes on to sing this particular song about taking pills to make yourself numb and dumb because he knew how I felt. Okay. All that. She felt lonely, so Manson and I will be holed up in the back of the tour bus watching The Big Lebowski and hanging out with my dogs. I could totally see that happening. It's funny how they were giving him heat for being with her, and they were giving her trouble for being with him. It's just, you can't win in Hollywood. I mean, these people are just sick. Manson was quite shy at the time, and the guys were nice to me. Sometimes grumpy. Some of them were grumpy, some of them were nice. He didn't mingle much in the public. Very low-key person, shy, right? This is what everybody's been saying for years. Ozzy said that. Alice Cooper said that. Amy Roger Wood used to say that before she got bought into this whole mess. That he is a very sensitive person, low-key, shy, and sometimes awkward. It feels awkward and uncomfortable in situations. I used to think, what's the upside of this? Okay, I'm not going to read the whole book. On my birthday, oh my god, this is amazing. This part. We're just getting into the video. I'm reading Rose McGowan, an expert of one chapter that she talks about Manson, pretty much the whole chapter, and everything she says is positive. This is still, up to me, like the most, I don't know, this kind of it didn't make me cry, but it's cool. It's pretty cool. How does she end it? Okay, the chapter. On my birthday, Manson took me to Italy. If you don't know, Rose McGowan grew up in a cult called the Children of God. Pretty messed up. There's a Netflix documentary about them, and there's a bunch of YouTube information about that cult. But also, her mom was Italian, so she has, that's why she has that really cool look. And she has a bit of a European flavor to her because she's half Italian, after all. So they went to Tuscany in Italy. I was trying to find the stone barn I was born into in the Duke's property. There's Manson, 140 pounds, 6 feet tall, 3 inches, dressed all in black, wearing a big stumper shoes that made him 6'7", looking like a scarecrow with his hat and a leather jacket in the heat of Italy, walking over hillsides with me. Just so cool, right? I mean, it's a cool couple. That's what I'm seeing. We huffle and pull off all over the hills trying to find the barn. At one point, this little kid said, hey, Marilyn Manson. It was surreal and hilarious. Eventually, we found out the stone, the sister of the Duke of Swally, I don't know how to say the name, on the property. They were actually trying to get to the place where she was born, and where her mom was born too. So Manson was doing all this with her. The guys are walking around on a hillside in Italy in the heat and the sun. We know he hates that. And he's just doing, this is part of a field trip that they're doing as a couple. And this sounds so normal and sweet to me. Okay, so they got to the doorstep, and the person was like just screaming in fear because they got scared of both of them looking weird. So then she never got to actually stand up and take a picture of the place where she was born because she couldn't go in, which happens a lot of the time. So you try to go back to where you were from or where you were born, and then you just can't because like somebody lives there that you scare them off. Anyway, the big first event that went with Manson was a little thing in 1998 called the MTV Music Awards. Oh my God. He was big, I was big, and Manson was the most controversial star in the world. There was some cool art going on the mainstream. Courtney Love and Hall were huge. Manson was huge, Smashing Pumpkins. Thinking about my own red carpet moment, I figured Manson was going to be really flamboyant for these awards. What the hell I do wear? And then as a famous Rose wore that super awesome outfit that is just pretty much chains and beads through her body. She's completely naked under, and they both look great on that. So that kind of was like her rebellious about against Hollywood. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna wear, now that I have this guy that makes me feel safe, I'm gonna be naked on the red carpet. You know, this person who was traumatized by rape, okay? But she's saying right here, and she's ending the chapter on nothing really bad. She's saying right here how safe he made her feel and how he was so into details, okay? And then she talks about Columbine and how horrible she felt for him. Everything with the blame were on him. He was getting sick. His health was getting bad because of the bomb threats. We're not even talking about death threats. We're talking about bomb threats. Okay, so I know what you're gonna think. Oh well, Rose McGowan, Me Too. She made this whole big thing. Yes, she did. But a lot of the stuff she did was very positive, and it was needed. It needed to happen. Otherwise, Harvey Weinstein wouldn't ever, that pig would still be out there doing this to women. So I respect her for that. Okay, it's a good book. Buy it if you can. There's nothing negative about him in this book. She could have, like I said, milk it and put something really bad about him, because she's saying a lot of bad things about all the guys. There's nothing negative about him. He's this guy who's super into details, make her feel safe. The part that got me was he pulled me back together. He patched me back together. And this is a person who already has trauma with rape, and so she's with this guy Manson. So if Manson was triggering something like that on her about her past, don't you think that she would have put it in the book? Don't you think that she would have said, hey, everything was okay until he did this, until he got the ropes and the whips? No, there's nothing like that. Nothing. And trust me, I've read it over and over, not the whole book, but I just tried to find his name to see if she says something like that he was a freak, that he was tying people up. Nothing. There's nothing. So I think that what's happening is she's really painting him on a really positive light, not even a positive light, but pretty much he's the only guy. There's a guy after Manson that she was with, like really bad news. I'm sorry. Really bad news, made her feel like crap about herself. The people before Manson, she said they were not everything was very superficial until she was with him. She wouldn't be engaged to him and almost marry the guy. She didn't marry him. If he was triggering any type of anything, she is, I'm not going to say if. We're not going to say if. I'm going to say she is a victim of sexual violence and rape. So let's say she's with Manson, and oh my gosh, she falls for the spell and all that. Like in Roger Wood did, Esme Bianco says that he was so charming. Well, then what? What is she? She will put that here. She will say, "I fell for the spell," but then he starts being a freak. He wanted to tie me up. He wanted to cut. He wanted to cut me with a knife. Nothing like that. And I would think that if that was true, she would put it here for the effect factor to sell more, because you're gonna put a name like Marilyn Manson, you're gonna call him a rapist or an abusive person, you're gonna sell more. She never, ever, ever. And everything that is here is so like not only is romantic, but it makes him. It's kind of like the way that we all imagine him to be, shy and kind of even conservative in a way. And then she talks about how after Columbine, Manson started to receive death threats and bomb threats, and this took a toll on his health, which I think is what's happening now. I hope not, but yeah. And then they broke up because she was getting worn out. The lifestyle was driving her crazy. They're burning me out. Eventually, I grew exhausted. The circus that saved me was not burning me out. I was really in love with Manson. I just couldn't do the lifestyle anymore. I was tired. Boom. Rose, that's it. Man, come on. And now somebody's gonna pop and say, well, she made that video taking sides with even Roger Wood. The whole thing is so political, and it's such a big conspiracy, or big mind game, mind fuck. The only reason Rose did that is because she had to. I can't put it in words what I'm trying to say, but I'm pretty sure that she had to do that little video, which is when the video that she said, I admire the women that come out against my ex, Marilyn Manson. And she made sure in the video that she said he was not like that when he was with me. But that doesn't mean that he was like that before or after. Rational person, right there. She had made that video. Probably she shouldn't have made that video. But I do believe that she was pressured to make that video, because Evan Roger Wood and the Phoenix Act and all that have such a weight right now that probably Rose was like, okay, well, fine, I do this video for you, fine. I think that's probably what happened. Funny fact that they were not even following each other on Instagram. I don't even think they like each other. So Rose making the video and saying, I am supporting the women against my ex. It's mostly, I think she's just saying it in general. It's not like she's buddies with Evan Roger Wood. They were not following each other before this. So this is what I think the whole thing is a big conspiracy, if you want to call it. And it didn't start with Manson. It started with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And it didn't start with Rose McGowan and Me Too, because the Me Too movement had some good things about it and some bad things about it. The guy she talks about that persecuted, there was proof against him, and that's it. That's why I believe her. I believe her from the beginning, because now there's a lot of things about her. She kind of milked the idea of being a victim, and she shaved her head, and she turned into this whole. She looks good with a shaved head. I think she's beautiful regardless, but she turned into this whole like, I am, against men thing. That's the problem right there. I don't like that she did that, but the book and the chapter about Manson, awesome. I don't see nothing wrong with it. And the type of person that she is, she's so controversial. If she had a problem with him back then, it would be on that book. It would have been on that book for sure. Because, think about it. So then I saw this little clip from Manson. I have it on my Instagram. It's gonna take forever. I want to know why Rose did what she did. How did they got her to make that video? I say they got her to make that video because it pretty much seems like they did. There was no video after that. Rose was not on any TV shows, on her Instagram, nothing saying anything against him. She only made that video. I'm not happy that she did that, but I can see there was probably a lot of pressure, and this is a big political thing. And I'm saying it didn't start with him. It started years and years ago, and also Amber and Johnny are the main case here. So this whole thing, this is not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence they're best friends. It's not a coincidence they're both eccentric and a bit strange and on the weird, which is awesome, eccentric side. It's not a coincidence. It's not. It's not a coincidence that Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood are bisexual, both of them. It's not a coincidence that both of them are going all over the place, winning awards for not, I don't know. I didn't know that being bisexual would give you an award. I said that in my other videos too. It's like, why do you get an award for being bisexual? Like, that makes you a better person? Like, what? So they're very much alike. Not Rose, I'm saying Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard are very much alike, and it's not a coincidence. No, it isn't. So, oh yeah, okay. This clip from Manson making a comment on the Me Too movement. So this is years ago. Okay, so this guy is asking him what he thinks. Manson is very serious. He's not joking anymore, because usually, in interview, he's usually like, go like, oh yeah, and then he's trying to like show off the dark, but just like playing it on the sarcastic side, which I think is amazing. And his sarcasm sometimes is not understood. Some people take everything so literal that they will really think that he was like smoking human bones, or that he took off his ribs, stuff like that. That always gets me. It's hilarious. Also, what I think is a really big mindfuck again is why Dita Von Teese, his ex-wife, took down that post from Instagram that she posted in favor of him. Are we gonna say, oh yeah, she sucks, she's a coward? No, I don't think it's that simple. I think they made her. I think these people put so much peer pressure on you to the point of I'm glad that she is not adding and talking bad about him, but I'm not happy with the fact that she took it down. But I also am thinking why she did. She probably took that statement down for the same reason that Rose made that little video. There's a name. The reason is Evan Rachel Wood and everything that she represents, and to the point of managing. I don't know how she does it. I don't know if it's her or it's her team, but it kind of has the same effect, the same power trip the Amber is at. They're both on this narcissistic power trip thing, and everything is below, and they're like they're right here, they're above. We know the video of Evan Richard was saying that rape jokes can be funny. I mean, like this. I think these people don't have a personality. Everybody says like, well, they have borderline personality disorder, or they're manic depressive, or they're, I think they lack off. I think Rose McGowan, you can hate her or love her. She's somebody with a personality. Dita, she has the personality. I'm thinking about Evan Rachel Wood and Amber Heard, and they don't have a personality. They start looking like the guy they're with. If you see pictures of Evan Rachel Wood with Manson, right? She was pale, real lips and all that, looking Lolita and all that. Then she is with this DJ guy that have blue hair. She dyes her hair blue. She wears the same suit that she wears. Then she's with a woman, and then she's being more tomboyish, and she wears the same hat that the girlfriend wears. This is somebody who doesn't have much personality. Probably that's why she's a really good actress. And I feel like Amber did the same thing. She was all-American girl, not wholesome, I won't say, but sexy all-American girl, right? And then when she started doing, being with Johnny, she got bohemian. She started talking about books and poetry. She had like a bunch of necklaces, a bunch of rings, and had a bohemian look to her. And that didn't happen before him. It happened when she was with him. And then after that, she was with Elon Musk, and then she was glam. And because Elon Musk, right? I mean, you're not gonna walk around with broken jeans and, dirty hair if you are with Elon Musk, who's, the billionaire of the world. So she was gonna mimic his style. So it was all glam, and the red lips came back. And then now that she is with whoever she is with, now it's again. No cleavage, jeans, tomboyish. So I'm trying to say there's nothing wrong with any of this. There's nothing wrong with being tomboyish, and there's nothing wrong with being glamorous. Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, like, they don't have a personality. So for them to say, Johnny told me what to do, what to wear, Manson told me what to do, I feel like, no, that's just why I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I believe what Rose says about Manson in that book. And I'm glad that I had it. I didn't know where I finally found it. And I got it way before this scandal. And I like some stuff, and then some stuff is like, it's a little bit too political for me, but it's heartbreaking what happened to her. And when you read what happened to Rose McGowan, that's rape. It's horrible. The whole chapter oh my God, I was getting sick. When you read the accusations on Manson, and you read the accusations on Johnny, and how Amber said that he dragged her in through the glass and took her nightgown off, and she was bleeding, she got alcohol and blood all over. And then you read Rose McGowan definition, and freaking, oh my God, like the horrible thing that happened to her. You're like, Then the other stuff sounds like a joke. It really does. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that puts this together. The other ones sound like a joke if you really read a detailed chapter about what happened to her. Everything else is so superficial. It really is. My phone keeps locking me up, so I can't even open it. Okay, so here's Marilyn Manson comments on Me Too. Okay, and he says something very interesting, kind of like in 2 minutes, about how this type of issues should be resolved in court or with the police. And I can't believe, because this video is about 3 or 4 years ago. So I thought it was very interesting. As usually, he's speaking very smart about something he probably did not want to talk about, but this guy just sends it to him and asks about this, right? Oh my God, my phone.
Because Hollywood has been rocked by this huge scandal of the allegations against Harvey Weinstein, and of course one of the most prominent alleged victims is one of your ex-partners, Rose McGowan. And an interview recently, Dita, your ex-wife, said she'd heard rumours about this. Were you surprised by it?
I'm not surprised by it. I didn't really know much about it when I was with her. I just think that I don't want it to turn the whole world's attention from the artistic element of Hollywood and movies and films to be ruined by this, because it takes away from, when there's serious allegations, and there are always allegations, of course.
There are always allegations.
It's when someone starts complaining about something that happened that seems a little bit not as serious as really sexual assault, because I think that's insulting to people that have been sexually assaulted, and it pisses me off that when someone says, "Oh, someone gave me an inappropriate gift" or something.
Did you hear that? He says, "Oh my God, it's amazing." He says that is insulting to people that really got sexually assaulted or raped. When somebody complains about, "Oh, that guy looked at me," or "that guy looked at my butt," he's pretty much saying that. And also what he says about Hollywood, I totally agree that just because this happened to Rose and to other women, it doesn't mean Hollywood is all bad. It doesn't mean there's not good producers out there. Not everybody's like Harvey Weinstein. There's good guys out there making movies. So I think that's what he's trying to put, like, don't put all the eggs in one basket. But also, I like how he's talking about, well, there's always going to, he said there are always going to be allegations. My God, it's almost like he called it. And this is like 4 years ago. Like, my phone sucks.
Because Hollywood has been rocked by this huge scandal of the allegations against Harvey Weinstein. And of course, one of the most prominent alleged victims is one of your ex.
Where's jump into that?
Element of Hollywood. It's when someone starts complaining about something that happened that seems a little bit not as serious as really sexual assault, because I think that's insulting to people that have been sexually assaulted, and it pisses me off that when someone says, "Oh, someone gave me an inappropriate gift" or something, that's not the same as being harmed. And I'm a very vengeful person, so I'm very protective of loved ones, especially in relationships. But I never really, that wasn't part of our relationship in the past, and I just don't want to see this turn Hollywood into something that takes away from films being made. And that's not to disrespect the people that are saying these allegations. I just think that if you have something to say, you should say it to the police, not to the press, and handle it that way first and foremost. And that's what I would do. But, you know, the things that happened to me growing up as a kid is nothing that I'm going to talk about or complain about. I mean, I'm guilty as charged when it comes to writing a book and talking about my childhood. But I'm not trying to make it into a crazed thing where I can't turn on my phone every day without someone being accused of something. Now, maybe it's all men are bad, or all men can't do anything inappropriate. You know, it makes you feel like you can't even, like, say, like, I meet her and say, if I could look at her the wrong way, I'm going to be accused of something.
If I look at her the wrong way, I'm gonna be accused of something.
Huge scandal of
He's like going. He's going. I can't believe he's saying. I mean,
growing up as a kid is nothing that I'm
okay,
going to talk about or
sorry
complain
about this.
I mean,
My phone sucks.
with what's the proper way of dealing with this type of situation, and I don't disagree with, you know, when you're speaking about my ex-fiance, I disagree with how she's handling it. I just disagree with the entire snowball effect that's happened with it.
Movement.
That it could really ruin a lot of things it could ruin a lot of people's lives that don't need to be ruined.
Do you think she should handle it differently then?
No, I don't know. I mean, that's up to her. It's not really my business. If I was with her, it'd be my business. I'm not, so it's not my business. But yeah, I don't.
That's great. So how much? Okay, that was like a 7-minute interview. I kind of like cut it out. I'm so sorry. My phone is horrible. Good things he said on that little interview. He called it. Oh my God, he called it. So he's saying he believes her, but she didn't really didn't give too many details when they were together. He's supporting her, but he doesn't really support the movement and the snowball effect. He's calling it right there. And he also thinks, he says it's so perfect. It's so perfect that I can't believe I found this now. He said, this is not the way to handle it. Go to the police. He says, if it happened to me, I wouldn't handle it this way. Write a book about it, or the police, or whatever. And then he talks about, well, then all men are bad. If you go into the snowball effect that I cannot even look at a girl. And I heard this from other guys. They're not Marilyn Manson. They're not famous, but they're male. I have male friends, and they complain about that too. Like sometimes you can't even look at a girl, or you can't even a woman, or you can't even say something because it's like, oh my God, this is assault, this sexual assault. And that is a bit of Rose McGowan, big Me Too movement kind of got out of control. But I think the roots of it are 100% true, of the guy that did that to her. It kind of snowballed out of like proportion. Yes, that's not really her fault. That's not really her fault. So I love the little clip because I put it together with her book, and with the things that are happening right now. And even if Amber, this case is related, this case is all the same. It's whole fake bruises, fake cuts, fake whip marks on your back. He's pretty much saying it right there. There's always going to be allegations. And I just, amazing. Anyway, I'm not trying to sell her book or to sell anything, but I think it's a good book if you are interested in Hollywood and the ugly side of it. And there's a lot of good things that she says about good directors. She talks really good about certain people, and she talks badly about certain people because they hurt her physically. So I get it. And it's a good book. Anyway, I know she made that video kind of supporting Amber Wood, but then they were not even following each other on Instagram. So I'm thinking, it was pressured for her to do that by the same people that pressured Dita so she can take her post down, Instagram post. Of course, we all have it because we screenshot it, but she took it down, and it's very sad that she had to do that. I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, how dare her? She's such a coward for taking it down. It's not that simple in the business. I am sure she took it down because they were really pressuring her to take it down. And that's my thing today. I just want to say, just want to talk about Rose McGowan and play that clip, because what he says is my God, it's like spot on what's happening right now. Everything is screaming sexual assault because you can't even do anything. You can even say to somebody, hey, you look good. Oh my God, you're so hot. Sexual assault, inappropriate. And so he is very protective. He sounds protective, and that is how she describes him. So you put all this together, and it smells like BS. From starting from Amber to Esme to Emerald to Wood. The new one that was on the People's Magazines, in the cover of People's Magazines. I don't know why People's Magazine give a person a cover with no documentation. There's documents that what Harvey Weinstein did to these women is true. It was documented. He never denied it. See, that's the thing. He never denied it. He said he had a sexual addiction, trying to get away with it, but he went to some rehab place for his sexual addiction. But there was proof. There's plenty of proof that he did what he did to Rose and to other women. There's no proof against Manson, and there's no proof against Johnny. If we're gonna, I don't think bruises or casting shadows are proof. I don't think that a bag, they don't even know if it's your bag or not, a picture on Instagram of what we're supposed to believe that is your bag, is not proof of anything. Like he said on the clip, take it to the police. And it's crazy that it's not crazy because not the first time that he's ahead of things before it happened. And I liked it in the book. She talks about him and how the Columbine thing was taking a toll on his health, and he was deteriorating, and he was making really good music and everything, but at the same time he was getting sick because of the bomb threats, the death threats. I remember that he couldn't play. It was Oklahoma, Kansas, I don't know what else, but it was all over the place. It was a few states that he couldn't even go to, let alone sing, let alone do a show, not even go to. So this guy has some stuff under his belt when it comes to being blamed for things that are not simply not true, or exaggerations, or just people trying to pinpoint on somebody. They have to. Like I said, these girls have no personality, Amber and Evan, and they have to do this because this is giving them the attention that they don't get from making movies. They need it. They love it. I do think that both of them, Amber was in every women's march. She was like on the UN, and she was doing all this supposedly philanthropic work and all these good things. But when it comes to it, we know who went to the children's hospital dressed up as a pirate. I don't know if you guys remember, but I do. When Johnny visited the oncology department, which is cancer, children that have cancer, and he went and visited them. It was pretty cool, right? Did Amber ever done that? Is there any pictures or videos of Amber Heard walking around a hospital just making people smile? No. It's always been about herself and what makes her feel better, what makes her ego get bigger. When I think about what she did to the hospital, it makes me want to vomit. There's on a different video that is there on my channel about how personally hurt about the fact that she stole from a hospital that my daughter had surgery at. I'm hurt by it. It's not a joke to me. And when I think about other celebrities, starting from Madonna back in the day, Michael Jackson, that they really did help people, and you will see them in the you can say, well, they did it for the camera. No, I don't think so. They did it because it was the right thing to do. They went to hospitals, they would just walk around, they would just shake hands. Angelina Jolie, you like her or hate her, she did a lot of that work for like 20 years. She was doing that before her personal life now got in trouble, but she was doing a lot of work, and you see her, she was there, she was in the mud, she was talking to people. I have never seen Amber doing that. No, I've never seen Amber in a let's say, like they have women's shelters for women that have either sexual violence or domestic violence. So you can go to a shelter, which would be the right thing to do, would be to go to the police, and then they will give you resources. And some of the resources are shelters. There's plenty of shelters around here in LA. I've never seen a picture of Amber Heard or Evan Rachel Wood in a women's shelter, shaking hands, being equal with fellow people that got abused. No. So until I see that, I'm really not going to believe none of this. I'm glad it's more people, that a lot of people on YouTube think like this. Also, I'm kind of scared. There's a lot of people out there that I get in arguments about. Sometimes I'm going to keep my mouth shut. They still defend Amber, and they still think that there's a case there. And you tell them, hey, they Photoshop the bruise, either that or she made it herself, whatever. And they're like, no, she's innocent. He's a weirdo, he's a drunk, she's a woman, she's innocent. I don't even argue with people anymore about this stuff. I think that's the good thing about YouTube, that you can watch channels from people that they're on your side and on the side of the truth. And I like seeing girls on YouTube talking about this, of all ages, from all parts of the world, talking about girls that like Manson, girls that don't like Manson or Johnny, talking about how unfair this is and how we cannot do this to the men that we live with, or the men that we raise, or our brothers, or our friends, or our boyfriends, our husbands. We can't do this. We can't just go like this and throw all responsibility on the other person, and not taking any responsibility of what we do. And the fact that we say yes or we say no. I do believe when I read Rose McGowan's book that she said no, that she screamed for help. and for whatever reason they didn't help her. That's just, I don't know. That is on whoever was over there. They'll be in their consciousness. Yeah. Did Esme Bianco ever say no to him? No. She texted, "Oh, it hurt so good. Thank you for giving me these marks," or something like that. So yeah, that's the difference between a person who really got raped, the book Brave, and a person who, well, she thinks she kind of did, but she's not sure and she doesn't remember, and I just don't. Oh my God, 1 hour of me yapping around. Thanks whoever's watching, and I'm going to do a live on Amber stuff because I'm kind of happy that she's finally gonna get investigated. And actually it's sad that her and her minions suspended Dog's account on YouTube. That Umbrella guy, we all love him. He's the biggest, I think he is, at least in my list of people that I like, he's the biggest Johnny supporter. He's the biggest. He has 220 videos just on Amber and Johnny. Not even including Manson, nobody else. Just Amber and Johnny. He has 220 videos. And he got suspended for a week because of her, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how she got to do this. I don't know how she went about it. But it's not, it's not a big deal. He's not banned. He's just suspended for a week. But that shows you what they can do. When in that first audio that we all listened to, and she says, "Nobody will believe you." She says to Johnny, "Nobody will believe you." And that keeps coming. She was right. Keeps coming back to my head, going like, "Oh my God, that was such an epiphany." She was just standing out. Just like Manson on that clip. It's and I keep mixing the cases because I don't think they're completely different. Anyway, I'll upload this later and do a live when I can. And thanks for watching. If you are keeping up with my bad hair day. Anyway, okay, thanks.